Welcome to Hitman Box, and hit that like and subscribe button, hashtag ASBC. We are the A-side boxing community. It would appear that Keith Thurman has resurfaced. No need to put his photo on the milk carton anymore, because they found Keith Once Upon a Time Thurman. And in this particular interview, they're asking him to break down the fight between Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter. Since he has fought both of these guys in the ring, he kind of knows what both guys bring to the table. And we know what Keith Thurman brings to the table: fake injuries, inactivity, and a bad bitch. This chick is bad. I'm not sure how much she paid for it, but she bad. But moving on, Keith Thurman broke down both fighters in terms of their punching power, physical strength, defense, speed, boxing ability, ring IQ, and chin, and then he made his final prediction. But we're going to go through each and every one of these categories real quick, and I'll chime in with my 2 cents. Now, in terms of punching power, Keith Thurman gives the edge to Danny Garcia. I quote, "Danny can punch with both hands. He does load up, so you can't be right there in front of him." Keith Thurman's statement, and he's right. Danny Garcia tends to load up on his punches, that left hook especially, and we've seen him take out a lot of guys with that left hook. We've seen him put a lot of guys down and out. He loaded up on Brandon Rios, and that was a pretty devastating knockout. So, you know, and of course, I'm picking Danny Garcia to beat Shawn Porter. I think it's only a matter of time before, you know, personally, and I've said this in many other videos, Shawn Porter's got a lot of scar tissue on his face, man. Don't be surprised if Shawn Porter gets stopped on cuts, because the punches will land on this man's face. All right, it should be a brutal fight, but again, I'm picking Danny Garcia to win. It's a personal preference. It's also, yeah, you know, personal preference. I just think he has the tools to beat Shawn Porter, personally. Now, in terms of physicality, or excuse me, physical strength, Keith Thurman gives the edge to Shawn Porter. And that's no surprise, right? We've seen Shawn Porter in the ring with guys much, well, I want to say much bigger than him, but larger than him, taller. And he's just manhandled them. You know, he manhandled Andre Berto, who's a pretty, who's a little stocky, big dude, you know what I'm saying? But he kind of has his way with his opponents and moving them around the ring and things of that nature. Kind of what he did with Thurman when he had him up against the ropes, right? So I agree with them. You know, in terms of physical strength, I would go with Shawn Porter as well. He's a very physical fighter. You know, a lot of people say he's not a great boxer in terms of technique, but he does what he can to smother your output, right? So I agree with what Keith's saying here, or Keefy Poo, what he's saying here, right? Now, in terms of speed, he gives the edge to, oh, I'm sorry, let me back up. Now, in terms of defense, he gives the edge to Danny Garcia. And let's read off his statement. Shawn Porter's defense is his offense. With Danny, I've never seen anyone so willing to just stare at me without throwing a punch. He's committed to being second, a pure counterpuncher. Correct. Danny Garcia is a pure counterpuncher. He waits for you, then he counters you. No surprise here. Danny wins here in the defense department. Now, Shawn Porter, this motherfucker don't got no defense. All right? You see what happened to his face? You saw that scar tissue on this man? He be getting his ass beat in his fights, but he still finds a way to win because he's just barbaric and savage, you know, with it. He's savage with it. He takes one to get one, you know what I'm saying? I've only seen him get dropped once, and that was by Adrian Broner. So, of course, snaggle to Shawn Porter. Defense ain't up to par to Danny Garcia. So, another agreement with Keith Once Upon a Time Thurman. Now, in terms of speed, he definitely picked Porter here. This is clear as day. Like, flat-footed Danny Garcia, he just doesn't move around the ring well. He's not graceful. Neither is Shawn Porter. Big tooth, slow forehead looking boy. Yeah. Shawn Porter is a lot quicker, man. He gets his punches off faster. He moves around the ring faster. His feinting, like, he gives you a lot of different looks, man. So, of course, Shawn Porter, in terms of speed, he gets that nod in this category. Let's see, what did he say about Shawn is faster and a little more athletic, of course. Yeah, he'll triple on the jab. Yeah, he triples up on the jab and he throws it a lot of different ways, man. Like short, high, you know, low. He varies his jab a lot. So I agree with Keith Thurman here as well. Now, boxing ability, he gave the edge to Danny Garcia, and I quote, "Neither one is known for boxing. Danny's a counterpuncher and Shawn outworks you. Danny has nice boxing movement when he wants to be evasive. He's underrated when on his back foot. We saw that against Lucas Matisse and Brandon Rios." Yes, and if I recall, I did watch that Keith Thurman Danny Garcia fight over again, man, and Danny was on the back foot a lot of the beginning of the fight because, you know, Thurman was pressing the action, but, you know, just in terms of boxing ability, I never really give Shawn Porter credit for his boxing ability, man. He just smothers you and he comes forward. He's a fucking football player, man. He's not that type of fighter. Danny, I mean, he's a great counterpuncher, right? But Danny's just, I mean, he doesn't do one thing like great, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just a all-around good fighter, right? So he's very balanced. Now, in terms of ring IQ, Keith Thurman rates it even, and he says, "Hard to judge. These are two world champions with tremendous amateur pedigrees." And you know what, Keith Thurman? You're a former world champion because you didn't want to get in the ring and fight nobody, so you lost your WBC belt, and we don't even know what you are in terms of the WBA. Are you the super? Are you the regular champion? You the interim champion? Huh? You the sitting out champion? Because you ain't been in the ring in about a year and a half, bro. Like, what's up with that? You coming out of nowhere and giving interviews with Showtime. You're not even on screen. I'm just reading excerpts. I don't see no video. You know? You probably looking dusty as hell with that mop on your head and that one eyebrow you got, bro. Get that shit cleaned up, man. Even in the off season, man. And stop eating them cheeseburgers. But anyway, ring IQ. Hard to judge. These are two world champions with tremendous amateur pedigrees. Yeah, I'm stumped on this one as well. Shawn Porter just crazy as hell in the ring, and Danny just does a lot. He's very patient in the ring. I don't know, man. I guess it could be even. I'll agree with him. Now, chin. Ooh, here we go, man. Chin. Even. In my fights, Porter took more big punches than Garcia did. Well, that's because of his defense. I had to hit hard to keep Porter off me. They both have enough power to hurt each other. Yes. So, Danny, I did see Danny get dazed a bit in the first round against Keith Thurman. Shawn Porter, you know, Shawn Porter got a nice little chin, but he got floored by, what's his name? Adrian the Problem Broner, you know. But, you know, it was a flash knockdown, so we'll give him credit for it, man. But at the same time, you don't get no credit for that shit, all right? Now, Shawn Porter snaggled too fast. He has a hell of a chin. Now, in the fight I saw him against Adrian Granados, I know he was on his bicycle. He got on his three-wheeler, because you know Shawn Porter can't ride a bike with two wheels. So he got on his three-wheeler, his tricycle, and he was running from Adrian Granados. Shout out to Adrian Granados, by the way. But you know what? I'm getting tired of this. Let's get to the prediction. This is one of the best matchups of the year. I try not to overthink. It's Porter by decision or Garcia only by knockout. I lean toward Porter. You know what? I'm not leaning toward Shawn Porter because Shawn Porter be ducking people. He's been getting beat up in his last couple of fights, and I'm not talking about the Andre Berto fight. I'm talking about the one where Adrian Granados was tuning this boy up and bullying him and throwing him around the ring like he's a rag doll. He got all that scar tissue on his forehead, over his sloped forehead, and you know what? When Danny Garcia lands that left hook, he's going to spread that eyebrow open, and he's going to be leaking. And you know what? They're going to have to call the fight because Shawn Porter can't continue because he's bleeding too much from his face. All right? His hand might explode too, throwing them stupid punches he throws. You know, just watch some footage of Shawn Porter, man. You know, he's not the tough warrior that everyone says he is. I promise you, this man's coming out with the headbutts, shoulder tackles. He might try to put Danny Garcia in the sharpshooter. You never know. But I'm picking Danny Garcia to win this fight for more than one reason. Okay? I think he's more likely to fight Errol Spence next than Shawn Porter is. Shawn Porter has been ducking Errol Spence. He's been ducking the IBF, and they've been lying about it ever since they've been questioning about Errol Spence. Every time you mention Errol Spence, Kenny Porter over here stuttering. Like, what are you saying, Kenny? What are you so scared for? You don't want Shawn to get beat down? Because that's what's going to happen if he won this WBC belt. Talking about you want to fight oh, we'll fight Errol Spence, but it got to be a non-title. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean non-title fight, bro? You know what? We're not going to get into this no more. Keith Thurman, shout out to Keith Thurman for coming out of hiding out of his cave or wherever he was at. You know, like I said, he probably looking dusty right now with some, I don't know, some old New Balances, a smock, poncho, you know, beard ain't lined up, but it's all good, man. Keefy Poo, he'll be back. Never. February 32nd is when his next fight is, and I've been waiting for Keith to come back because he's an exciting fighter, man. I went back and I watched Keith Thurman versus Shawn Porter, and then Keith Thurman versus Danny Garcia. Those were exciting fights, man. Like, and to be 100% truthful and honest, man, you know, Keith Thurman's a great fighter. It's just he doesn't fight often enough. And as a fan of boxing, man, it's really sad to see guys fighting once a year. I think he gets too much credit for fighting Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia back to back because, I mean, look how long we had to wait between those fights. And he was faking injuries. He was doing whatever he could to get out of that fight with Shawn Porter, you know? So I'm not down for giving him that type of credit. But he's a very exciting fighter. And, you know, you went from top 5 to not even mention it all because you've been inactive as fuck. Hitman Boxing, drop a comment, like the video, subscribe, go buy Shawn Porter a new toothbrush for his large ass teeth. Hitman Boxing, I'm out.